Well, you're laying in bed, you get woke up by an alert on your phone, and you check your doorbell camera, and you see this.
On the doorbell.
You're probably going to call 911, right? That's great. It's a good plan. When, seconds count, the cops are going to be minutes away. So you're kind of left on your own to handle this type of situation. You hear that bump in the night, the doorbell camera notifying you. We're talking, how are you going to, after the 911 call is made, how are you going to protect yourself if this person or persons gain entrance to your home? So let's talk about self-defense, home self-defense, okay? So a lot of people are on the mindset, and you've heard for years, and I heard this when I was, younger, growing up, and heard people talk about it, is the best home defense weapon is a shotgun. Well, it makes sense, right? Shotgun, it's a big shell, that spreads out the shot. You kind of cover a bigger area. Sounds good, right? The sound of the shotgun, is pretty distinctive. Everybody knows that, right? So we're talking the shotgun. So here's a small guy. It's got a light. Good home defense gun, right? This is perfect right here, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. I did have an instructor. I was calling for law enforcement years ago, and this instructor said something that stuck with me. And I know I've said this in a previous video, maybe a couple. But we were at the shotgun. We were doing shotgun quals, and I remember him saying this to me, and it stuck. It did. Is I had engaged my targets, and we were doing a reload. And this scenario was we started with our patrol shotgun downloaded. I'm saying, meaning not loaded. The tube wasn't fully loaded. If I remember right, it maybe had 2 or 3 rounds, and we were to engage. I think we were supposed to make a total of 5 shots, something to that effect. Mean we had to have a reload involved. And he said something when I was up to qual. He says, "Remember, the shotgun is a forever hungry beast. You're always going to be feeding it." And that stuck with me, and it's true. They're low capacity. If you're using it, you're cracking rounds off. You got to keep feeding, or you're empty. Over the years, it kind of made me think. The shotgun wasn't the best for a lot of these scenarios. That a lot of people were always trying to push the shotgun to be good at or for. Something like this, you're bound to 5 shots. Okay, well, 5 shots, you say. Well, you got multiple people. You've just woken up. Your senses aren't about you. Maybe you're still a little sleepy-eyed. You got adrenaline going. You're probably going to miss. Wait, miss with the shotgun? Yeah, well, that big spread of a shot occurs, depending on your load, it occurs probably further to get, this big spread, where you're not going to miss a human-sized target. It's going to be beyond the range that this gunfight is going to occur in your home. So at those ranges, you're going to be talking smaller groups, maybe even tighter. Maybe, it's still going to be a tight in group. So the probability of missing is high. It's not just a point and shoot. Now we're talking capacity. We've covered, the spread of that shot. That what people think is going to happen to that shotgun shell is not going to happen at those close-in ranges. Now let's talk about capacity. Typical shotgun, 5-6 rounds. You might have an extended tube shotgun. You get two more rounds, maybe using the mini shells. Okay, well, you might be able to double your capacity with the mini shells. But here we're talking those mini shells the technology is not there yet where those mini shells are where they should be. I personally wouldn't risk my life trying to defend it with mini shells. I just wouldn't do it. So we're talking buckshot, maybe some, heavy game loads in your shotgun. You're still limited to 5 or 6, maybe 7 rounds. I personally want more than that. Now, would that cover you? It might. But once those rounds are out, you probably don't have a pocket full of shotgun shells. You've just awoken from sleep, or maybe you're just lounging around the house. You don't have shells on you, right? Unless it's part of your plan. Maybe you throw a bandolier on, take your shotgun, and go. More than likely not. So the reload is kind of out of the question on that one. And it's a slow reload. Not ideal. You ever watch these competition shooters, how fast they can reload their shotguns? Maybe you need a little practice there. There's options, right? Are you going to mount rounds on the gun? I would. But if all you have is a shotgun, okay, well, use the shotgun. Get a little training with it. Become proficient with the shotgun. But my first pick wouldn't be the shotgun. Okay, well, what about if you have a PCC? All right, so compact, 9mm, 30 rounds. You got an optic, you got iron sights, you got the light, got to have the light. So you can probably get around the house pretty easily with this. You're going to go on target. Easy, you're going to be able to put effective rounds on target because it's stable, right? Well, at the range it's stable. When you're practicing it's stable. But here we're still talking again. You've just awoken, or you've been lounging. You're just, you're winding down for the day, maybe. And then all of a sudden this fight's brought to you. Adrenaline's through the roof. It's going to be stable as it can be, as stable as you are, but you still have adrenaline. You're going to have some auditory loss. You're going to have some dexterity loss. But we're talking 30 rounds of 9mm. You've got the weapon mounted light, which your home defense weapon should have a light on it. Or you have a light readily available, where you store it, or you can grab that light. It's a handheld light. You got the capacity. Probably want to say I'd probably add a sling to it. I would probably sling it before I went and use the gun. All right, so the PCC, pistol caliber carbine, step up from the shotgun? I think so. Is it the best way to go? I don't know. It's 9mm. It's easy to handle, low recoil. It's not extremely loud. You got a lot of rounds. It's probably going to be pretty effective. Okay. Well, is that the best option? Oh, what about the handgun? Okay, here we got a SIG P320, so it's a 9mm. You got an optic. It's got night sights. It has a light and a laser mounted. And 21 rounds. Here, one in the chamber, so you could have 22 rounds of 9mm. All right, so maybe this is the best way to go. It's small, compact. You can keep it right next to the bed. Well, you can keep any of these next to the bed. So it's probably going to be easy to get to. Well, same scenarios as before. You have adrenaline, plus you've been asleep or relaxing. You're not in the mindset. Are you going to be able to effectively put your rounds on target? With practice, yeah. Is this a good option? I think this is usually what I go to when I hear that bump in the night and I'm going out to investigate. We've got the light. I do have laser. We've got the red dot optic. 22 rounds of 9mm should be more than enough, but you just don't know. And that's another part of these scenarios. The camera might show you a little bit, but how many people have come to your residence? Well, you search Google. You know, just Google search Ring doorbell cameras capture armed people, or just put in that search, something similar to that. You're going to find hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of videos out there. People are capturing attempted home invasions. Multiple people are coming to the door, and this is in the city. Traffic driving right by while these people are doing these things. They're kicking doors in, ringing the doorbell, trying to get somebody to come to the door. They're lying in wait. You're coming home, and they're taking you at gunpoint and getting into your house. So your house isn't as safe as you'd like to think it is. And then, of course, depending on where you live, and there's a lot of other factors too. I mean, really, what is the best? What is the best weapon for this? Well, I mean, here we got another option, right? Here's a 5.56 16-inch carbine. So 30 rounds. It's got light. It's got laser. It's got infrared light, infrared laser. So I mean, you throw your night vision on. You want to play in the dark? Oh, here you go. Here's an option. But it's 5.56. It's loud. You're going to have a lot of penetration. These rounds are going to travel. You don't get rounds on target. Neighbors, other people in the house, those are factors too. How are you going to handle firing this weapon in your home? Have you ever shot a gun indoors or in indoor, say an indoor range or a kill house? Do you know what this is going to sound like to you? How this is going to affect you? Training. So I think we're talking. Training is the key here, right? I think in all these scenarios that we've talked about and all these different weapons, it's been the training is going to help you the most. But what is the best weapon for home defense? That's why you click this video, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, the best weapon, in my opinion, the best weapon for home defense is the weapon that you have readily available that you have trained with. Come up with a plan. Your handgun, a lot of rounds. This is my go-to. This is what I've had probably the most training on. The most trigger time will be handguns for me. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. Something like this, it's high capacity. I mean, we're talking 22 rounds out of a pistol. It's pretty good. Your 5.56, it has its pros and its cons. How loud is it going to be to you? The over penetration, but you got plenty of round count. You start lighting it off, the other guys, that could be an intimidation factor too. It's going to be quite a bit louder than this 9mm, the PCC or the pistol. Maybe after you crack a few rounds off that, maybe the others change their mind, or they engage you. I mean, you just don't know. But get the training. It's going to all come down to the training. What you're comfortable with, what you have. So I always put the shotgun at the bottom of the list. But if all you have is a shotgun, then get good with it. Really, get good with it. Because that's all you have, that's all you have. So to answer the question, what is the best weapon for home defense? It's the weapon that you have. It's the weapon that you're going to use. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant a little bit. And over here, click that little guy. That'll get you the subscribe button. Subscribe. Like this video. Over here, check out some of the other ones that we put out. Share it with your friends. I appreciate you for me to keep doing this. The views are what's needed. Needing the support. So I thank you. I appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one.